now being recorded.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to the session. So as part of this session, I would be covering to provide you an overview of SAP Analytics portfolio and where does SAP Analytics Cloud as a product offering fits in, and get into the details on SAP Analytics Cloud in terms of the capabilities, functionalities it delivers. And I would also be covering a lot of a demo as part of this session in which I would be trying to highlight a few of the key capabilities with the business user workflow, what we could see a lot of end users would be doing day to day. A quick glance at the legal disclaimer, as we would be touching upon a couple of items which are in the future roadmap as well. So moving on to SAP Analytics portfolio. So as part of our analytics portfolio, we are focusing on two areas. One, on-premise, where we have a business objects enterprise platform widely adopted by customers. And also, we are building from scratch a completely SaaS-based analytics solution on cloud, which we call as SAP Analytics Cloud, which is based on SAP Cloud Platform. And while doing this, we are keeping in mind the hybrid strategy.
Is not a passcode that I can confirm. Please try entering your passcode again, followed by the pound or hash key.
Okay. So customers can extend their existing investments and take advantage out of it with the hybrid deployment with on-premise.
Is not a passcode that I can confirm. Please try entering your passcode again, followed by the pound or hash key.
And two core parts of this hybrid strategy are SAP Analytics Hub,
is not a passcode that I can confirm. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to connect you to the meeting. If you need assistance with your passcode, please contact your host directly to verify the number.
Okay. With SAP Analytics Hub, end users can have all the analytics with one portal and live connectivity to the data sources which are on-premise, so that customers doesn't need to move their data out of their firewall to the cloud applications, but still make use of the capabilities, innovations we are delivering on SAP Analytics Cloud to analyze the data. So here is a quick overview of where does SAP Analytics Cloud fit into overall SAP portfolio. So, and also the role of rest of the components on our on-premise business objects enterprise portfolio in terms of the overall picture and deployment of analytics for any organization. So as I mentioned earlier, SAP Analytics Cloud is a native cloud solution based on SaaS principle developed on SAP Cloud Platform, and it's a premier solution for analytics self-service, data discovery, visualization, exploration use cases. We do have SAP Analysis for Microsoft Office, which is part of the Business Objects Enterprise Suite, and that is a recommended solution for Excel analysis, Excel-based self-service for business users. And we do have SAP Lumira Designer, which we also used to call as Design Studio, which is our enterprise dashboarding and analytic applications tool. So the recommendation for the use cases related to dashboarding and enterprise applications is still continues to be SAP Lumira Designer. And Ruby and Crystal are the reporting solutions, which are recommended solutions with the existing portfolio as well. So as you can see here, we are working on a hybrid approach where you can make use of the contents which you have already created on-premise using Business Objects Enterprise Platform, whether it's Ruby, Crystal, Design Studio, and take advantage of modern BI with the new capabilities delivered as part of SAP Analytics Cloud for self-service together with one deployment within one environment using our hybrid support in terms of the data connectivity as well as Analytica portal. Now moving on to SAP Analytics Cloud further in detail. One of the important things what I would like to highlight here as a differentiator for SAP Analytics Cloud compared to other solutions is it unifies BI planning and predictive use cases. So as we were building SAP Analytics Cloud from scratch on SAP platform, we have considered all the inputs from the customer in terms of how multiple tools and the integration between them, different experience, different personas, is a hindrance for finding the insights from data and making decisions. And that's where we have brought in planning, BI, and predictive capability into one solution as part of SAP Analytics Cloud. And I would be demoing how these capabilities works together for an end user to gain insight and make decisions from data. The other important thing to highlight is, as I mentioned earlier, SAP Analytics Cloud can also connect to your on-premise data, whether you have S4, BW4, or any third-party sources which are deployed on-premise. You do not need to move data from on-premise to SAP Analytics Cloud. With this solution, we provide a live connectivity where SAP Analytics Cloud creates a query and delegates all the calculation down to the underlying database servers instead of fetching all the results from there and storing it on SAP Analytics Cloud. So it doesn't replicate any data from your on-premise to the cloud with the live connectivity. And Digital Boardroom is an application built on top of SAP Analytics Cloud which provides all the capabilities delivered in SAP Analytics Cloud with a great experience on the touch screen, which I will be covering later. And another important thing to highlight here is with SAP Analytics Cloud, you can connect to any data source. I mentioned about on-premise, and it also has a native connectivity to cloud applications. So you can bring in the data from your cloud applications and your on-premise systems and mash them up and have an analysis with the context coming from all the places. Okay, moving on. With respect to business intelligence with SAP Analytics Cloud, as I mentioned earlier, this is a self-service data discovery tool for the business users. The business users can connect to data coming from any of the sources, enrich it, enhance it, and prepare the data model for analysis and make use of the rich visualization capabilities and exploration capabilities to analyze, visualize, explore, and find insights from data. And within the same application, they would be able to share it with other users and collaborate using commenting capability with the other users in the organization and make a decision. As I mentioned, SAP Analytics Cloud brings in BI, predictive, and planning together into one product. So with respect to predictive, SAP Analytics Cloud makes use of predictive capabilities delivered as part of the SAP Core Platform to enable users to find the hidden insight from the data with capabilities like smart discovery with the step-by-step interaction, making use of natural language query capabilities, and also deliver smart insights for the business users to identify the key influencers for any of the analysis they are making on any of the objects. And it also has an integration to R server. With SAP Analytics Cloud, we have R servers deployed, which you can make use of to create R visualization with the scripting. And in case you have your own R deployment, you can configure SAP Analytics Cloud to work against your own R server within your environment. Along with data preparation, SAP Analytics Cloud extends the preparation capabilities to create a planning model which, with the same experience, what you can have for data preparation during the data modeling. And once you create the model, you can make use of the same capabilities what we have for BI to visualize and analyze the data based on changes you make in terms of planning allocations. And of course, it's tightly integrated with a bidirectional integration with SAP BPC solutions to align our plan across businesses. SAP Digital Boardroom is an application developed on top of SAP Analytics Cloud platform. With this, you can analyze the data with the interactive touch experience on a 3-screen display for board discussion, focusing on different areas of the business. Right? You can put together the stories from HR, production, sales, finance together and have a discussion, drilling down to each of these areas with the BI planning and predictive capabilities to understand the current status and the changes you need to make to achieve whatever the targets you have in mind. So this workflow, what I just now described, I'll try to demo end to end so you can get a feeling of how all these functionalities work together. And we do have SAP mobile application to enable the content available for the users on the go, irrespective of where they are. So you can access SAP Analytics Cloud Stories on iPads and iPhones, and you can interact with these stories with the native experience. In addition to that, the most important thing is these stories, when rendered on the mobile device, are going to be responsive and align themselves based on the screen factor on which you are rendering these stories. I touched upon on Analytics Hub already. This is a portal solution in which you can create a catalog for all the analytics contents you have in your organization, whether it's coming from SAP Analytics Cloud, Business Objects Enterprise, or even third-party applications. You can create a catalog and provide one access point for your business users to access all the analytics available in your organization. Those of you who are using analysis for Office, Microsoft Office as of today would know the use case is for the self-service analysis and with the connectivity to BW and HANA as a source. So with SAP Analytics Cloud, this use case further extends. SAP Analytics Microsoft Office now also supports analyzing the models created on SAP Analytics Cloud with the Excel experience. So this would open up an opportunity to analyze data coming from any source on which SAP Analytics Cloud models are created, in addition to BW and HANA, which is already being supported. We are also working on providing an embeddability support for SAP Analytics Cloud Stories to embed into different portals and web applications. So you can make use of the APIs to embed a story into the application with interactivity in terms of dynamically passing the filter values or values for models and dimensions, or the HANA or BW variable prompt values when these embedded applications are open, stories are opened within the web application. Here is a list of data sources which we support as of today, and the list keeps on growing quite fast as we deliver innovations and enhancements on SAP Analytics Cloud every 2 weeks. So here you would see two types of connectivities, live and import. When I say live connectivity, in this case, SAP Analytics Cloud doesn't acquire the data and store it within the platform. Rather, it creates the queries and delegates the calculation down to the underlying database servers. So this helps in the cases where you have your data on-premise and you do not want this data to leave behind your firewall. And here are a list of different sources supported directly within SAP Analytics Cloud and also via some of the extensions delivered by partner. And when we say import, in this case, SAP Analytics Cloud would execute the query based on the model you are creating and acquire the result set and store it on the platform. And this data would be used for further analysis. Again, just like live, we do have a lot of sources supported out of the box, and for some of the sources we do have partner extensions which extends the capabilities. Just one important thing to highlight here is depending on the connectivity, some of the capabilities would be different, making sure to take advantage of the advantage that the connection type delivers. And to make it easier for customers to deploy SAP Analytics Cloud, what we are also doing is we are delivering business content templates. So as part of SAP Analytics Cloud, in the content library, you will see the templates for different line of businesses and industries, which you can straight away make use of and connect to your data sources and do the customizations, whatever you need to suit it for your requirements, and deploy those stories for your end users. So with this, we are trying to reduce the effort spent in terms of creating a story from scratch. As we know, the underlying metadata coming from different business applications, and also the format for the dashboards and the KPIs, what typically the customers would be looking at it. So you can make use of it to get started rather than starting from the scratch, and customize it as per your needs and connect to your data sources to have these dashboards working and published to your end users. The other important thing, what we are focusing on with SAP Analytics Cloud is to integrate the capabilities of SAP Analytics Cloud within all the SAP applications. So on the left-hand side, you can see all the applications to which we have a native connectivity, and SAP Analytics Cloud is integrated for analytic requirements, and we do plan to extend it further in the future releases across all the SAP applications, whether they are on-premise or cloud solutions. Okay, with that, here is a quick overview of solution architecture. As I mentioned, SAP Analytics Cloud is developed on top of SAP Cloud Platform, so it does make use of all the core capabilities delivered by SAP Cloud Platform, and adds a lot of core capabilities required for analytics like connectivity, wrangling, modeling, collaboration, and visualizations capability. And on top of it, we do have analytic capabilities, BI planning, predictive, all running on the same environment, which can be extended into different applications like digital boardroom or mobile. The other important thing is we have been working on creating APIs, which can be utilized by our partners to embed SAP Analytics Cloud into any solutions, and also create applications using the capabilities of SAP Analytics Cloud. One good example of the application on top of SAP Analytics Cloud is SAP Digital Boardroom. So when we talk about pure native SaaS-based cloud solution, one of the important questions is about the data centers. So here is the list of data centers that are supported with SAP Analytics Cloud, and we do plan to extend it in future with additional locations. Now let me move on to the demo. So as I mentioned earlier, I would try to cover most of the key features as part of the demo. So let's consider, for the demo, let's consider a fictitious company called JF Technology. It's a mid-sized company with office locations throughout the world, and they have a combination of cloud and on-premise software just like any other company. In this demo, I would like to highlight how easily they can track their top-line profit goals and adjust their plans using predictive planning and BI capabilities to meet their profit goals. Before we get into their dashboard, would like to show how business users can access all analytic contents, whether on-premise, cloud, or third-party sources, within one portal. So here you see Analytics Hub, which is the portal which I was talking about, and these are tiles for different assets coming from different sources. So now I would like to analyze profitability report. So I can simply search here. With the keyword, and here I see an update for profitability analysis. When I click on it, I get a lot of details in terms of the overview, description, what does it cover, and also the link. So when I click on the link, as you can see here, it's opening Web Intelligence document. And this Web Intelligence document is deployed on-premise on the BI platform, which is created an asset or a catalog within SAP Analytics Hub. And similarly, I have a story from SAP Analytics Cloud, and you can have analytic content from any other sources like KPIs from your S4 or third-party analytics solution, created as an asset here, and have one portal for your business users to access all the analytic contents. Now let me get back to JF Technology Management Dashboard Overview. Here, as soon as I open the open the story, I can very quickly see, it's a technology company, and they have data sources coming from everywhere. So that's one important thing which I would like to highlight here is, they are having in this story, we are having the data coming from sources which are on cloud applications, and as well as on-premise, as well as the data from Excel, which is usually on the personal system. For instance, here the data is coming from C4C, Concur, Fieldglass, and SuccessFactors, and also from S4, which is on-premise. With SAP Analytics Cloud, I do not have to go to multiple systems for reporting, rather combine and access all this data from different sources to identify the meaningful insight. And here, if I look at the GeoMap, at a glance, I can see in the map where are my employees are located, which is the data coming from HR system, and also I can see where are they traveling, which is the data coming from my travel system. And with the linked analysis, I can start analyzing data by clicking on different regions, that is profitability by region, and see how the profitability forecast is for each of the regions. And again, here the data is blended from multiple sources. One is the HR system as well as sales system as well as customer system. And here, as I filter for different regions, APJ, EMEA, North America, the entire dashboard gets updated with the profitability forecast, as well as travel data, as well as headcount data, which is displayed in different visualization. And here we have a capability for prediction. So here already I have predicted profitability forecast with automatic forecast. I can also make use of triple exponential forecast to see based on factor in the seasonal data for my prediction workflows. Now, let me show you how easy for the business users or the end users to do the data linking. So here, the headcount per team visualization is created using the data coming from SuccessFactors, and I would like to add additional context to it with the contract employees, which is the data available on Fieldglass. So it's going to be as easy as updating this visualization. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So it's going to be as easy as adding another model. So in this case, as I mentioned, the contractor data would come from SAP Fieldglass. So I'm selecting SAP Fieldglass for my analysis. And in the measure, from SAP Fieldglass, I add contractors. That is what I want to analyze. And in addition to that, I can also create a filter straight away which says contractors whose employment status is active. So as you can see how easily I created, I linked two data sets to have contextual analysis from two different data sources coming from two different business applications. Now, with the further analysis, I can look at the KPIs coming from the S4 system at the top, and I can easily figure out the differences I'm having in terms of planned versus actual for the forecast, as well as the HR cost or the travel cost. So now let me move on to the HR dashboard, where the data would be coming from my S4 as well as SuccessFactors and Fieldglass systems. And I'm going to analyze why I'm going about 2% in terms of the HR cost, and also I can very quickly identify the major differences in the recruiting expense, which is beyond the plan. So now, using the data exploration capability, I can identify what is happening, why my recruiting expenses are going high. So for that, I just select SAP SuccessFactors as the data source, and I want to analyze employees terminated. And event, I want to select as termination. So this is a very simple, experience for analyzing the data and finding the insights. Give a minute. Okay. And the other important capability is in terms of the smart data discovery. So I can go to simply smart data discovery and select the KPI which I want to analyze and exclude the KPIs which I know which are anyway having a direct impact in terms of this analysis. And when I run the discovery, I can simply get the insight from the system in terms of the key influencers. For this, let me go to Cloud Forecasting. That would be a good example. So here I want to start identifying influencers for expected revenue, and I want to take out deal size, because definitely deal size has a major influence, and also profitability, which is going to have a major influence, and rate of revenue. And when I click on run, the application will identify the top influencers. And this is being done making use of the predictive capabilities, which are part of the SAP Analytics Cloud platform. So here, apart from business area, I see employee rating is a major influence in terms of the expected revenue, which is quite obvious. And now I can further continue my analysis by adding a few more influencers in terms of source to see, how the expected revenue works in terms of different KPIs. Now I can simply keep on changing different KPIs impacting expected revenue, so I can go for business area versus source from where the revenue is being generated. And here I can clearly identify the source of revenue for Fortune 500 companies is highly coming from partners. So by working with partners, providing them more knowledge about the product, definitely we can think about further increasing the sales. The other capability you can have here is to find the outliers. So it becomes very simple to find the outliers based on the influencers which are going beyond. For example, in this case, I can quickly find for this particular deal, the actual revenue is a lot more greater than the predictive revenue. And also the application provides a lot more information in terms of the custom tooltips to reach out to the right employee or account executive who is dealing with this particular account to understand what they have done differently, which is resulting in the difference in terms of the expected versus the actual revenue. In addition to that, I can do a simulation for a specific scenario. For example, I can do a simulation specific to Fortune 500 business area and select a particular employee with a different source, for example, campaign. So I can, by making all this selection, I can simulate what is my expected revenue is going to be based on these particular criteria and get further details in terms of how do I make it better. So now, if I go back to my story with all the exploration and analysis, so far I have figured out it's the attrition and recruiting new employees is what increasing my HR cost. And in terms of sales, there are ways to improve my sales by associating further well with the partners as they are generating a lot of business with Fortune 500 companies, and also assigning the employees to the right deals. Another important capability what I would like to highlight here is with the R integration. So here we have network of employees created based on R visualization, where you can select different employees, and based on a skill set and the employee levels, it will highlight who are the best suited employees to train and educate new employees who are joining in. Now let me quickly go on to travel dashboard where the data is coming from the Concur system, and see what is my spend and expense on the travel. Here I can see a lot of the travel destination is San Francisco and somewhere in Europe. Quickly, as soon as I get into this dashboard, and make use of the polygon filters to filter certain areas within the visualization to do a specific drill down analysis, where I can further understand where is a lot of the cost going for the travel, how many people are traveling in business, what is the cost for economy and premium, which would help me identify where I can reduce this cost. And if I further come down, the very good indication of the travel spend is compared to the deal size. So here already I can see that amount spent on the travel for the deal size less than 15K is too high. I can simply click on this deal size, and the application will update rest of the visualization with further details, giving me information about individuals as such who are utilizing most of the budget, and average ticket price, how much they are spending. So it's very clear. Here I can further reduce my travel cost by taking care of reducing the travel for the smaller deals or taking a different approach or having the people on the same location helping me close the deals. So now let me quickly move on to the finance dashboard where the data is, of course, would be coming from S4 and the combined with the other systems. And here we have a concept of value driver 3. So based on all the analysis I did earlier, and as I mentioned, we have identified certain areas where we can further optimize or increase to increase the profit. So I can move from actual to forecast to see what is the impact of my analysis on the overall profit margin. So here is profit which is derived out of expenses as well as revenues, which is further driven down into different components contributing to it. So based on the analysis we have identified, I can decrease the recruitment expenses by 14% based on the smart discovery analysis we did. So I can straight away go here, decrease it by 14%, click on OK. And as you can see, the application will recalculate and profit numbers will be updated accordingly. The other analysis I did was I can increase software revenue by aligning well with the partners and giving them more contents, resources, and education on the product. So I can make the change. And also we identified we can reduce the travel cost. So if I go and reduce the travel expense by 15%, which was mostly taken for the deals with the smaller sizes, you can see my profits are updated and now would be matching to my expectations. So as we saw quickly, with SAP Analytics Cloud and hybrid strategy, as an end user could log on to SAP Analytics Hub, where I can access all the analytics content within the organization, whether it's coming from the on-premise source or the cloud analytics applications. And I can start analyzing my data, that is using the JF dashboard, which we have right now, by combining the data coming from different business applications, whether it's HR, sales, travel, or finance system. I can link them. I can do a contextual analysis. I can make use of capabilities like smart discovery and insight, the predictive capabilities to find the hidden insights. I can explore and analyze the data, and also I can make use of my insights from those analysis with the capabilities like value driver 3 to see the impact on my business and apply the outcome into planning. So this is the next step. What I would like to quickly show you is this is the Excel sheet for planning. So here I can go to any of the cells for the forecasted or the budgeted revenue and make use of the predictive capability to further analyze. And also right here, so here I can say forecast. The application will make use of the predictive capabilities within the planning to provide me a forecast based on the previous data. And based on the suggestion here, the recommendation is a forecast 5.6 million. I can apply that forecasted value into my planning model. And I can also manually change these values. For example, if I know in Q4 I'm going to add a new product which can be sold in China, which is not captured in the system yet, and I know it's going to increase the revenue by another 5 million, I can manually edit it, make it 5 million, and allocate the revenue for all the different categories for marketing expenses, basically with the increased forecast. So this will go and update the planning, and this will update rest of the data model for the analysis, which will be taken care into. So we are kind of doing end-to-end workflow, right from analyzing the data from different systems, using different capabilities, finding the insights, applying those insights to see the outcome, and executing those insights in terms of planning allocation, all within one product, one solution, and one experience. So this brings me to the end of the demo, which I wanted to share with you to highlight the capabilities of SAP Analytics Cloud. And here are a couple of useful links for you to get more details in terms of the tool and the education materials and pre-built content, all those things. So we will be sharing the slides for you to make use of. And I think we have 10 more minutes for a Q&A. We can open up for Q&A on the phone line. Hello, are there any questions? Feel free to.
If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask Ramu right away. Or else you can send a mail to us. Yeah, Ramu, you were telling something?
Yeah, or you can drop an email, which I have shared in the chat window later. Anything related to the topic, I would be happy to get back to you. Thank you. Thank you for your time.